Gator, I won the toss and receive yesterday. You're up first today.
All right.
On your market set, go.
All right, here we go, Gator. The Jets, they actually opened up the 21-day practice window for one of their players, a guy you may have heard of. His name is Aaron Rodgers, plays quarterback. He was actually out there practicing on a limited basis, handing off, taking throws and things like that. How impressive is this?
I mean, it's terribly impressive if he's not a liar. I mean, you got to watch on the field and see if those pants catch fire or not, because, I mean, this is just, it's unbelievable. This is a medical marvel if you're able to come back from a torn or ruptured Achilles or whatever it is and be ready to go 11 weeks later for practice. It just doesn't seem right, right? To me, it tells me that it was far less severe than the injury that everybody knows to be that torn Achilles thing. I'm still impressed by it, because any kind of Achilles injury, I think we're all going, wow, okay, come back from it this quickly. That's awesome. But keep in mind, this is the same guy that skirted around the whole vaccination issue by saying immunized. Yes, I've been immunized. I mean, was it a torn Achilles? It's an injured Achilles.
It was just a bruise.
Yeah, is it just a bruise? Aaron, was it a bruise?
It was 78 days. That's incredible. But let's be clear on something. He wasn't practicing yesterday, okay? He was upright. He was standing. He threw the football. He was practicing dropbacks at 1/4 speed. I mean, he was marked as present. That's what he was doing. Am I impressed? Yeah, with the doctors and his commitment and whatever it took to get him back. But he was not practicing by any stretch. He practiced about as much yesterday for the Jets as I did. Now, with that said, is he going to play? They got 20 days. They got 3 games. They're 4-7. They'll probably be 4-10 by the time that window closes. I don't think we see him this year. I'm not even sure he goes through a real practice.
Oh, wow.
Well, guys, yeah, I doubt he really plays this year. The Jets won't have anything to play for. It's not worth risking their quarterback next year. But assuming, Gator, he didn't mislead us, and it is a complete rupture of an Achilles, this is pretty remarkable. It's incredible. It just shows you, though, guys, he is one of the most spiteful athletes ever. And if you doubt this man comes back with a vengeance. He told everyone to RELAX, right?
Yep.
And he tells everyone, he sees the articles, he hears the chatter. Don't doubt him, and he told you he will come back. But this is very incredible. It's very impressive. Yeah, he's not going to play, Doug, you're right, but still impressive. All right, the 8-3 Niners are 2.5-point favorites on the road versus the 10-1 Eagles. Is this not enough respect for the Eagles or too much respect for the Niners?
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I don't know how there can't be enough respect for the Eagles, so I think it's too much respect for the Niners. How can there not be respect for this 10-1 football team? So I think I'm confused. How the hell? The game's in Philly, right?
Yes.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Not
Yes.
Philadelphia, California, somewhere near the Bay Area. I just don't get it.
Yeah, last I heard, the term Philadelphia was not used in Tupac's California Love. Wasn't one of those cities, the Bay Area and back down.
Yeah.
Philadelphia up to no good.
Right, yeah. This one makes absolutely no sense to me. This is an absolute disservice to what Philadelphia has done. Here are the last 3 games for San Francisco. They're all wins. They beat Seattle 31-13, to beat Tampa 27-14, to beat Jacksonville 34-3. 3 decent teams. Here's what Philadelphia's done the last 3 games. They beat Buffalo 37-34 in overtime. They beat Kansas City at Kansas City 21-17, and they beat the Dallas Cowboys 28-23. The Cowboys who are running roughshod over everyone. Are you kidding me? You're gonna give the favorite to San Francisco? Now, does this let everybody know bet on Philly? Is this what's going on? Is this what Vegas is saying? I dare you. Take the points. I dare you. I get nervous about that. But yeah, my head is telling me this is absolute disrespect to the Eagles.
I get it, man. When the Niners are healthy, they look unbeatable. I mean, they're I think everyone's favorite if healthy. With that being said, this is not enough respect for the Eagles. They're 10-1.
Right.
They're at home. You read off the resume, Gator. They may not all be pretty wins, but they win. Championship caliber teams always find a way to win, and apparently they're not that good because the Niners are favorites. And you know the point of betting lines is to get kind of even money on both sides. So this is what they feel like the public's going to do. I just not enough respect for the Eagles in my book. All right, Caleb Williams said it will be a, quote, game-time decision on whether he declares for the NFL draft. Should Williams actually come back to USC?
Well, before he has to make that decision, he'll know who has the top pick in the draft, and he'll know if that's a place that he wants to go. He's likely to be the top quarterback taken. But there's no guarantees that's what happens there because trades, right, and whatnot. So, I mean, you could try to negotiate where you want to go and talk to the team that has the number one pick. But it really depends what I don't know what he wants to do. Does he want to come back and have a chance for a national championship? You're not going to win it with USC. Not with the way they're set up right now. Not with the Big Ten being as difficult as it is. I just don't see that. The one thing that could have him coming back, though, is money. The money that's being thrown around to college football players right now is impressive. I mean, you just had who is it? Matt Rule come out and say that it's going to cost between $1 and $2 million to get a quality quarterback in the portal. Caleb Williams is already there. He's already gone through the portal, but he's still going to require quality money. And he could hold USC for ransom and say, look, you want me to come back? Give me $5 million.
NIL changes everything. So, he'll have a tough matchup next year when Texas comes to the big house. He has to welcome in Oregon, USC, travel to Washington. He's familiar with those opponents when he's wearing the winged helmet. So I think that Caleb Williams...
he can't transfer.
Yeah, he can as a grad transfer.
I don't think he's a grad transfer.
He could be if he hustles classes through. All seriousness, I don't think he's coming to Ann Arbor. All seriousness, yeah, you can put together a huge package. And if he stays at USC, and probably will, you're talking about a massive NIL deal with a very, very wealthy alumni base. And then you take, introductory to tree climbing or something as your class. Cooking and just take some easy classes and be a college kid with millions of dollars. Sounds like fun to me.
No, he shouldn't come back. NIL money's good now, and it could be even better for him next year, especially a guy like Caleb Williams. But it's nothing guaranteed the NFL money. I mean, you'll be doing commercials and more sponsorships than you would in college, and I know he does a little bit right now already, but it's the NFL. Nothing's guaranteed. He could get hurt, obviously. I don't even care what your insurance is on health-wise. He still wants to play the game, I'm sure. It's not just about money. And if you think you're crying to your parents after losing a game in college and your season is over and you're not playing for anything, at least in the NFL, you're still playing for stuff every week. And USC, you're right, he's not going to be playing for a national championship. Just move on. Whether it's Chicago or Carolina the Carolina doesn't have first-round pick, but whatever team it is, the NFL is still better than USC. Go to the league. The Panthers have yet again fired another head coach. Is this the worst situation in the NFL?
Yep. Worst team in football. No first-rounder this year, no second-rounder next year. The early returns are they took the wrong quarterback. Probably too soon to say that, but it's trending that way. The owner will scare people off. So who's going to want this job? Certainly not Ben Johnson.
Ditto, Doug. No, this is absolutely the worst situation in football. They have no first-round pick, which is just demoralizing. They also traded away other picks and players to get the first-round pick last year. It's a big mess. No coach. It is the wrong quarterback. It's unfortunate. It looks like it's the wrong quarterback. Of the two that they could have had, I'm not giving up on Bryce Young. Bryce Young can still be really good quarterback in this league, but based on this year, they made the wrong choice. Plus, it's got to be a really tough sell for your own free agents. You're going to talk to Brian Burns. It's going to be tough to get him to re-sign up there. And you're not going to franchise a player when you're an awful team. Good teams franchise players. Bad teams, you don't do it. You got to free up money. So they're in an awful situation.
Yeah, I like to try to be different and see another way, but I agree with you guys. This is the worst situation in the NFL, and mostly because of the owner. I mean, he doesn't know what he's doing, and he gets too involved, and look what just happened. Fired another coach 10, 11 games into the season. Apparently, he wanted Bryce Young when they wanted C.J. Stroud. They don't have a number one receiver. They don't have a running back. They might lose their best player in Brian Burns. So, yes, Doug, Ben Johnson, you would be a fool to go there. You might as well just stay here and run the Lions offense.
Agree.
The Vikings quarterback, Josh Dobbs, great story, but he just threw 4 interceptions against the Bears, and they lost the game. Should the Vikings stick with Dobbs if they want to make the playoffs?
Yeah, I think you have to find out if this was a yuck throw it in the out in the garbage type game or not. And so far, I think Dobbs has done a decent job. I mean, it was an awful game. 4 interceptions is a terrible game. A couple of those were not his fault. I'm not gonna kill him over that. But they've got the bye week this week. They don't play until the 10th against the Raiders, and they're at the Raiders for that one. I think this one's worth stretching out at least another game to see what you got, because your backup is Nick Mullins. Right? It's not like you have this awesome opportunity to bring in this other quarterback that you're dying to see. It's Nick Mullins.
Oh, it's Jaron Hall there as well. I think if you don't have a clear starting quarterback, it should be open every single week. And, I mean, I'm not a Vikings guy, but if I were a Vikings guy, I would want it to be open competition each and every week. And may the best man win. They're still trying to win, but if they keep with Dobbs and he keeps stinking, go Lions.
I would not stick with Dobbs. It's been a great story, but there's a reason why he's been on so many teams in his career. He's not the guy. I mean, for a moment, for a game, yeah, he can be the guy. With the bye week coming up, it's the perfect time for the Vikings to go with Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins actually has more career starts and more wins than Josh Dobbs. I also believe he has a higher completion percentage. He is probably going to give you a better chance to win. He's better at throwing the ball. With Justin Jefferson coming back, I think now is the time to move on from Dobbs. Nick Mullins. Our last one, guys. Bradley Cooper recently said that he would rather have the Eagles win another Super Bowl than himself win any Oscars. What's the biggest personal achievement you would give up in order to see the Lions win a Super Bowl?
Well, do we have any awards? Are there any awards that I could give up that would make that I could relate to this? And I can only find, well, this one, what's this? 2022 Sports Station of the Year. Is this a Marconi? Yeah. Okay. If only, dude, yeah, I'd give it all up. It'd be so good for business. Like, this is good for business, right? Sort of. But if a Lions team wins a Super Bowl, that's better for business. So it's a kind of a win-win. Gator, what do you have there?
Oh, I'm sorry. I also have a Marconi Award for Top Station of the Year. Yeah, we've been fortunate in this business, and our station has been named Top Sports Station of the Year twice at least.
Yep.
I like my personal achievements. They mean something to me, and not that the Lions winning the Super Bowl doesn't, but I'm not giving up a personal achievement for the Lions to do what they can do. It's interesting because I had a question posed to me by my nephew the other day, and he said, would you give up watching if you knew the Lions were in the Super Bowl? They could get to the Super Bowl, not guaranteed to win it, but if they could get to the Super Bowl, but you couldn't watch the game, you had to try to put yourself in the bubble, and your friends are going to ruin the bubble for you. Would you take that?
What kind of evil thought is coming into your nephew's
I don't know.
head?
So for that one, I said, sure.
Diabolical scenario.
I said, I don't care. Yeah, I just want to see them win. But when it comes to be personal for something that I've achieved and given, no, I'm very proud of it.
You nailed it, Gator. I mean, maybe you asked me a younger Kang, I probably would have gave up everything. But now that I look back at it, I'm not giving up anything personal, especially in my athletic career. I did that. I achieved that. I earned that. You guys go win one on your own. I'm out.
So long, Marconi. And that'll do it.
I'll take you. Want?
Yeah, you can have them both.
I might give up like an employee in a month or something like that.
Hey, just keep it over there. How about we do the rest of the show with the Marconi?
That'll do it for the Y Night Omaha 4 Down Around League Blitz thingy. Here on Karsch and Anderson on 97.1 The Ticket.